Built to serve.
The Aaron Rodgers waiting game continues. One of us here is apoplectic that Rodgers has yet to make a decision. We'll toss that around. The once unstoppable Golden State Warriors have hit a wall. Should Golden State fans be very nervous headed down the home stretch? And Jason Tatum's star was shining bright yesterday in Boston. With that, we say good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Nick Wright, tan, chiseled, golden, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wild. Oh, it's good to have you guys back.
Chiseled.
Threw that one in there because we're going to have to talk about how great Jason Tatum is. No, I gave you a little something because we're going to take it away. We're talking Jason Tatum. It's great to have everyone back.
No,
you guys
I'm fine with talking Jason Tatum. That's fine. Chiseled. Take that, Wilds. Pretty soon I'm going to be the funny guy, too. Wilds going to have no corners left. Take that.
Oh, we'll hit all four corners this morning. We got to start with a wild and wonderful weekend in the NBA. Warriors-Lakers Saturday night in L.A. Lakers season mired in underachievement. That's the nice way of putting it. LeBron put on a show of shows. LeBron James, it is half empty, 56 points from the King, his most ever as a Laker, tied for his third highest scoring game ever. Boy, desperation mode worked. Lakers won the game. They snap a 4-game skid. And for LeBron, he joins Michael, he joins Kobe and Jamal Crawford. One of these things is not like the other. As the only guys to put up 50-plus at 37 years of age or older. Nick, you got a gift from LeBron. Welcome you back off of vacation. He's so generous. I could have gotten some cash. I didn't. Yeah. What did LeBron prove with his performance Saturday night?
Well, it's the greatest scoring performance, forget age 37, by anyone age 35 or older. If we made it 35 or older, you just add Karl Malone and Alex English to the list, and you might say, well, it's not the most points anyone age 35 or older has scored. That's Kobe in his farewell game. But while that was an amazing moment, that's kind of, it's not an asterisk moment, but it's a different type of situation. It was Kobe's farewell game. It was not in the regular flow of competition, if you would. So I think it's the greatest scoring performance by an old guy ever, which makes sense because LeBron James, and now listen, I am not trying to write off vacation, start a LeBron Jordan debate. We did that right before vacation.
Oh my!
So I'm not talking about the greatest player ever. No, I'm not.
But yet.
I'm not. But, Brew, I think you would agree with this. LeBron James was the greatest teenager ever in NBA history. LeBron James was the greatest young 20s in NBA history. At 22, took that Cavs team to the finals. And LeBron James is now the greatest old guy in NBA history. Now, does that mean if you're the greatest youngest and the greatest oldest, and in the middle you won a bunch of championships and MVPs, does that make you the greatest ever? I'll let history figure that one out. I'm sure history will say, no, actually, if you look at this 4-year stretch. But the LeBron, who, went on the shop and said, God, people don't think I'm a scorer, and then drops 56. LeBron, who is going to win the scoring title this year, who, despite the Lakers' season from hell, has been the one shining bright spot. Yet what he proved was, in my opinion, if we want to go negative for a moment, how much they've squandered this year. Because when you have this LeBron James, which is basically every year LeBron James, you should always be all in. You should always be trying to win the title. You should always be saying, forget the future, try to win right now. Because this guy might be able to drop 56 on the Golden State Warriors' heads any given night. And so what he proved was that, yes, this is probably a lost season, but not due to his play. In fact, it is despite his play.
Well, Nick, look, obviously you're right. Clearly the best teenager we've ever seen in the NBA. And clearly, we knew this before the 56. The best player at 37 years old in the history of the game and the best player in his 19th year at this stage of his career. It was stunning to see the number 56, right? Wow, he scored 56. But not shocking in the sense of, what? LeBron actually scored 56 this late in his career? Because watching all year, you knew he was capable of this type of performance. He dominated Golden State in the paint, who they're bad in the paint without Draymond Green defensively. And then he hit his threes and he hit his free throws, which doesn't always happen. So those things combined helped him get to 56. You brought up his comments on the shop, and you're right. It was interesting because what it reminds me of was in high school. Remember when he got the Hummer? And there was all the big hubbub about that, and he was suspended, I believe, for a game or a few games. And then he comes out and scores 50 in his next high school game. So LeBron can do things like this. I agree with him. He is a scorer. Now, he doesn't have the arsenal of a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a Kevin Garnett, so to speak. But
Kevin Durant.
He scores as many points. Kevin Durant. He scores as many points as them for the most part, and he does it at a high field goal percentage. So he's a great scorer, one of the best ever, obviously going to be the top scorer ever. But what they proved is, I hate to be a downer and look at Anthony Davis, but with this LeBron James, if Anthony Davis was holding up his end of the bargain, they'd have a very good shot at winning a championship. And I don't mean just the injury, but I mean playing at the level, Wilds, that he was playing at in the bubble and should be playing at, for the next 5-6 years after the bubble. Now, as a team, I told Nick a few weeks ago, they got a puncher's chance, right? You got 2 top 10 players if AD comes back healthy with LeBron. Here's the problem. They are almost assured of being the 9th seed, right? They're 4.5 games behind the 8-seeded Clippers.
Yeah.
That means they have no
Phoenix.
shot at being number 7. They're going to be 8. They're going to face Phoenix. I don't think they can beat Phoenix, even with LeBron and AD. Now, is there, again, puncher's chance? Sure. Like Deontay Wilder had against Tyson Fury. He's got a shot because he got that right hand.
Literally a
But
puncher's chance.
I think they could beat Golden State. And they could beat Memphis just because of Memphis' youth. But Phoenix, the problem is they're going to probably face Phoenix in the first round should they get there, and I think they're going to lose.
Yeah, so do I. So I was very impressed with LeBron's 56-point game, Nick. Here's what I want to see. Rattle off 4 wins. Is that too much to ask if LeBron is the best, youngest player, middle-aged player, oldest player? Just rattle off 4 wins for the Lakers. They've done it once this year, so have the Thunder. But this is their schedule coming up. Spurs, Rockets, Wizards. Those teams are a combined 53 games under 500. And I know you're like, Wilds, that's why I'd be really impressed. And people are like, Wilds, why are you trying to rain on LeBron's parade? LeBron just had a historic performance, and you're just talking about winning games. Like, yeah, that's kind of what matters. And I kind of want to keep the same energy that we don't give to Phoenix. This is a true story behind the curtain of their show. Phoenix at one point had won 18 games in a row, then they lost a few, then they won 11 games in a row. And we were like, you know what? Should we start talking about the Suns? Or what? Do you think we should do more segments on the Suns? We were like, nah, not really. The Lakers have won 4 games in a row once. Can they string off 3 more wins? Nick, do you think they can win 4 games in a row? Can they win these next 3 games?
Yes.
Because then I'd be impressed.
So a couple things. Okay. First of all, yes, I do think they can. Second of all, let me just quickly, do you have a Sun steak you want to give? The floor is yours, my friend. Do you have some hot Suns topic? Right? Okay, give it. Okay, all right, good job. Listen, America.
We should talk about the Suns more.
America, ratings bonanza. Kevin Wilds just declared the Suns are better than the Lakers. Good Suns take Wilds. We're excited to do it right here. No, it's good. We should have led with it. I agree. The Suns, we should have led with them. Good point. And lastly is this. I'm going to ask you one other thing, pal. If they do win the 4 straight, are you going to move the goalposts and say, it's the Wizards, it's the Rockets. Yeah. Oh, now they've done it twice? Because you will. Because of course
the 5th game is against the Suns. The 5th game is against the Suns. Then they play the Suns.
There you go. So that's why. So here's the thing. This is, and we can talk more about this later, Brew, but at some point, we are missing the forest for the trees. And I understand that this has been a wildly disappointing year for the Lakers. Nobody denies that. And I understand a massive amount has to do with Russell Westbrook, and LeBron pushed for Russell Westbrook. So when we're looking at LeBron, the GM, we say, okay, LeBron, the GM this year, didn't do a great job. But LeBron, the player, at age 37, with the third most minutes, about to be the second most minutes in NBA history, just dropped 56 points on a team that is one of the favorites to win the title. And we're not shocked by it. What he proved was that it's impossible to shock us. That's what I should have said, was that LeBron James once again proved that what would be shocking for any other player ever. Because Jordan's 50-point game at 37 still gets brought up to this day, even though it was for a bad Wizards team. But I still hear Broussard and Wilds, whenever we bring up Jordan with the Wizards, like, oh, there's two things they're like. They're like, oh, he did score 50 once, and the two-handed block. Oh, my God, the two-handed block. You remember that in transition? See, Wilds will never forget it. So it is impossible for LeBron to surprise us, which is kind of the story of his career.
Not really.
All right, well.
Okay.
Wilds wants the Lakers to win 4 in a row. They've won 1. Let's see if they can do it again tonight. They're in San Antonio.
No, Wilds wants to
take
talk Suns, Jenna. Let's talk Suns.
All right, after the Lakers win 4 in a row, then we get to talk Lakers.
Yeah.
Heck of a battle yesterday in Boston between KD and Jason Tatum. Who's more likely to win